Hello, welcome once again to the new section of the Pre-Med Pro. Today we are going to continue with our chapter Human Reproduction, and today we will start with our path followed by the gametes in the female reproductive tract. So give the headings: path followed by gametes, in female reproductive tract. Okay, so during coitus, the semen is released. From male reproductive system, from male reproductive unit, or male reproductive tract by penis into the female reproductive tract that is the vagina, by the process called insemination. So sperms released in vagina swim through cervix, enters the uterus. Okay, now in the oocyte, in case of the oocyte, released in body cavity, captured by fimbriae, goes to the infundibulum, reach towards ampulla, okay. Now what happens after reaching to the ampulla? The ampulla is the site of fertilization. So fusion of the gametes, that is syngamy, fertilization, vital event of the sexual reproduction. This is a vital event of sexual reproduction. Fertilization can only occur if the ovum and sperms are transported simultaneously to the ampullary region. This is the reason why not all copulation leads to fertilization and pregnancy. Okay, so what changes we see in the gamete during fertilization? Now give the topic changes in gametes during fertilization. Okay, changes that we see in the gametes during the fertilization. So what changes we see in the gametes? So now secretion of acrosome part of the sperm, secretion from the acrosome part of the sperm allow entry of sperm into cytoplasm of oocyte through zona pellucida and plasma membrane. Through zona pellucida and the plasma membrane. Okay. After that, what we see? After that, what we see? Changes in the zona pellucida layer. What it happens? It prevents the entry of additional sperms and ensure that only one sperm can fertilize an ovum, including completion of meiosis II of secondary oocyte. Okay. Now what happens? See, cytoplasmically unequal second meiotic division it divides to second polar body, egg and ovum form. Okay, now the second polar body is of N. So now what happens to the second polar body? It is released in perivitelline space. After it gets released in the perivitelline space, what happens? The ovum or the oocyte, it is also N. It forms the nuclei, fuses, and here from the sperm. So both the oocyte and the sperm both are of N number of chromosomes. Here the nuclei gets fuses, and what happens? The zygote is formed, and it is 2N. So characteristics here, it is seen that what characters it is seen here? Characteristics that we see here is what? A vital link that ensures continuity of species, between organism of one generation And the next. Sex of a child is decided at this stage. So the sex of the child is decided at this stage. Okay. Now, what happens? How a sex of a baby is determined? Basically, it is determined by the sperm of the father. Okay. Sex is the sex of the baby. Sex of a baby is determined by the father. Okay, so sex of the baby is determined by the father. So what are the parameters? Chromosome pattern, gametes formed, fusion of gametes. It is formed by the fusion of gametes. So 50% of the male gamete carry X chromosome and 50% of the male gamete carry Y chromosome. So if the X chromosome fertilizes with the Y chromosome, the baby is male. If the X chromosome fertilize, if the Y chromosome of the baby is fertilized with the X chromosome of the mother. If the Y chromosome of the baby is fertilized with the X chromosome of the mother, the baby is male, and if the X chromosome of the father fertilizes with the X chromosome of the mother, it is female. Okay, so it is how we determine the sexual character of a baby. So now if we come to the development of the zygote, the topic is the development of zygote. Okay, how the zygote is developed here. So every sexually, we know what? Every sexually reproducing organism including human beings begin life as a single cell, that is the zygote. During embryogenesis, zygote undergo cell divisions and cell differentiation. Zygote undergoes cell division and cell differentiation. The process of development of embryo from zygote is called embryogenesis. Cleavage starts as zygote moves through isthmus to the uterus. The daughters formed after cleavage are called blastomeres. Okay, so daughters formed after cleavage is called the blastomeres. Now, what is a trophoblast? Trophoblast. Outer layer of blastomers attaches to endometrium. The inner cell mass, it is the inner group of cell attaches to the trophoblast. It differentiates into embryo with 3 germ layers. So after attachment, uterine wall divides rapidly and cover the blastocyst embedding of blastocyst in the endometrium is called implantation, and it leads to pregnancy. Okay, so for today I am keeping aside up to this, and from the next video I'll start with the changes after the implantation of the zygote. So till today I have explained different stages of the pregnancy, how the implantation happens, and in the next video lecture we will see that what is the changes that we observe and that we see after the implantation. So implantation generally takes about from the day of the coitus or the day of the fertilization till 7 days. The implantation generally happens. Okay, so there's a slight bleeding can be observed, it's called the implantation bleeding, and that is quite normal. After the implantation, the fetus starts to grow in the endometrium, and later after 9 months we observe a delivery of the baby. So what is the changes that we see after the implantation will be read out in the next lecture. Till then, I wish all the best for your upcoming examination and hope you are all doing fine. So till then, bye bye, and please share and like and subscribe this channel. So bye bye.